When we reach the cooking club's room, there are quite a few people hanging out outside the door and chattering as if they were waiting for something. Shuichi took off his glasses before we left the student council room, which I found to be a bit of a pity. He looks pretty handsome in those. A single girl is sitting on a chair next to the door with an apron and a clipboard. Hi, are you a member of the club? The girl, a canary, smiles at us and nods, getting up from her seat. Yes, are you two here to sign up for the masterclass? We are. Are there still any openings? Only a few left for the class starting in 10 minutes. We're cleaning the kitchen right now after the last class finished up. That's great. How much is the cost? It's 4,000 yen for the class. That covers the cost of materials, the cleaning after, etc. Will that be all right? Sure, no problem. Shuichi pulls out his wallet and fishes out two 2,000 yen bills. Hang on, you're not paying all of it by yourself? Why not? It's no big deal. The girl happily takes the money that was offered and puts it inside a small fanny pack she was carrying under an apron. All right, may I take your names, please? Shuichi Urata and Yuichi Michimiya. Her smile widens and she nods at us energetically. Oh, the student council president! Thank you for dealing with our little issue with the chemistry club. It was driving us all insane. I didn't really do anything. It was the whole team. Regardless, thank you so much. It's gotten a lot more pleasant after those fumes stopped invading our kitchen. Now, if you two could wait outside for a few minutes, you'll be called in shortly. Thank you. We leave the girl be and lean against the far wall of the corridor. You really have to stop with this habit of trying to pay for everything. I don't try to pay for everything. Besides, what's wrong with me treating you? You're constantly pushing Jun-kun to let you pay for his stuff. Well, that's different. Why? Because he... Don't try to change the subject. Wow, your skill with words rivals that of the bards of yore. A very moving speech indeed. Shut up. As thus commandeth mine liege. Please don't try to imitate a bard's flowery speech now. Mimicry? How dareth thee slander this humble minstrel with thine foul lies? I swear to God, I'm going to ditch you. Also, I'm half convinced most of the stuff you're speaking is gibberish. It could be. I don't really know. Hell, I'm not even sure what I was saying. You're a dork. Sure am. Shuichi leans closer to me, putting a hand on my shoulder and whispering into my ear. But I'm your dork, so you should get used to it. I see. We're gonna start the next class. Will people please enter the room as I call out your names? Once we're inside, I get a good look at the kitchen. I think the only time I'd been here before was when class rep borrowed the place so she could prepare her nasty concoctions during her pitch for the festival. All the pans are shiny and neatly stacked. Every kitchen island has a supply of fresh produce, meats, and all other kinds of products required to cook. I'm surprised just how neat and organized this place is, considering they apparently have been hosting multiple cooking classes a day. Whoever their president is, they must run a pretty tight ship, so to speak. Alright, I want every pair to man an island. Every island is fully equipped with an oven, gas burners, and enough counter space for the duo to work on. The instructor, a busty deer with a pair of round, pink-framed glasses wearing a laced apron, stands in front of the class. Her own counter is flipped from ours so she can access all its features while looking at us. The lesson will last for 3 hours. During this time, you guys will learn to prepare a 3-course meal. Here are the dishes we'll teach you all to make. She wastes no time in beginning her explanation. Grabbing her chef's knife, she pulls out a whole chicken and begins to carve it as she speaks. First, we will work on our chicken. We will extract from it all the meat we will need for our appetizer and our entree. Grabbing your knife like this, you'll make an incision here and... For what it's worth, she is very thorough in her explanation. She points out a few sheets on each of the counters containing the recipes we'll be preparing today. Shuichi and I both put on a couple aprons that were provided us by the cooking club. Both are white aprons, very plain too. They don't have any flower patterns like the instructors. Hey, you look pretty cute with that. Thanks. How about we get started on that chicken? Blech, word. Me? Alright then. I leave Shuichi with the task of carving the meat. Mostly because I'll work on the other stuff in the meantime, and I doubt he can screw up carving a chicken carcass. Let's see. Wow, these dishes sound fancy. Yeah? What are we going to be preparing? Let's focus on the appetizer first. A wild mushroom and chicken breast ragu served on top of Italian bread toast. Ragu? What's that? I've never made it before, so I'm gonna be going into this blind too. It's supposed to be a really thick sauce that's usually paired up with pasta or bread. That sounds pretty nice. No, wait. According to the instructions, we're gonna make fresh pasta dough for the entree. Since that will need a few minutes to rest, I suppose I should get to it first. That means I'll have to leave Shuichi to do a bunch of stuff while I prepare the dough. Okay, I'll leave you to carve the chicken and slice the mushrooms and vegetables. Just make sure you stick to the recipe, okay? No fun little additions. Aww, I was already thinking of ways I can spice this up and improve it. Let's just stick to the recipes, okay? Besides, the ingredients we're provided are measured for the exact recipes. If you try to change them, then something will have to go without. That's a fair point. I wouldn't want to ruin one recipe to make another one better. I think you mean you'd ruin two recipes. I'll get to work on the pasta dough. Be careful with that knife. No problem. Have you ever made pasta dough before, by the way? Not really. This will be a first for me, too. Do try not to screw it up. I don't want to hear that from you. Let's see. I need to measure out the ingredients here. It seems pretty simple. 100 grams of flour, 100 grams of semolina flour, and 2 eggs. Pretty basic. I'm surprised it doesn't call for any salt in the dough. I guess that's because it'll already absorb salt while cooking in the water? By the way, what's the pasta dough for? Are you gonna make spaghetti? No, the entree is supposed to be chicken alfredo with squash ravioli. Man, forming these is gonna be a chore. Chicken alfredo with squash? We're just gonna be preparing Western foods? I thought we'd do Japanese stuff. I don't think people would pay for a masterclass where they learn to cook stuff they already eat at home every day. Fair point. I make a flour well inside the bowl and pour the 2 mixed eggs in the center, just like the recipe says to. I don't think I've kneaded dough of any kind before, so I'm a bit wary of dunking my hands in there. I start off by mixing it with a wooden spoon until it forms a shaggy dough. When it gets too hard to keep mixing it like this, I give up and decide to go by hand. The feeling of it sticking to my fingers is certainly weird. The instructor goes over everyone's counters, checking up on their progress and giving them tips on what to do. That's good. Don't be afraid to really get in there. Don't use your fingers so much. Use the bottom part of your palm to gently push the dough down and away from you. Yeah, like that. It's actually much harder to knead it than I thought it would be. It's not super difficult or anything, but for something made out of just flour and eggs, I expected it to be soft like putty. I'm gonna get started on the mushrooms now. You've already carved the chicken? It didn't take that long. It mostly came apart on its own. I look over at his station to check on his progress, and that's, instead of getting clean pieces of meat out of it, he completely mangled and shredded the chicken. There are even a few pieces of bone still protruding from the meat. Did you even pay any attention to her explanation? Look at your chicken! It looks nothing like hers! I mean, I didn't see the point in spending so much time to get nice-looking pieces when we're gonna shred them anyway to use in the dishes. The point is that you're supposed to be learning a skill here. That's overrated. How often am I gonna be carving a chicken in real life anyway? Why did you ask me to come here with you if you had no intent to do things right? By the way, what's the difference between a wild mushroom and a regular mushroom? I wonder. I see he's obviously not even a bit interested in actually learning stuff. What if I told a really ridiculous lie about it? Would he buy it? I think I told the truth in my first playthrough, so I'm gonna lie. I want to see what he says. Maybe. Oh, they're a special type of mushroom. When ingested, makes your hormones go all wild. They're said to be a great aphrodisiac and also boost energy levels. Wow, really? So are they used to make those market aphrodisiacs? Oh yeah, the mushrooms are processed in factories and turned into liquid extracts. They add some of it into energy drinks too. It's why they're so good at keeping you energized. Oh, wow. Wait, you think that's why I always get a bit excited after my games? Because of the mushrooms? Could be. Some people are more susceptible to the effects than others. And since your heart is running really fast for a long time during those, the chemicals might travel your body much easier. Oh, wow. Now it all makes sense. Oh my god. I can't believe he's buying this. Shuichi, you're such a gullible dork. My god. Be careful with how much you put in there. It would be awkward if we were both walking around with, you know. Don't worry, I'll be mindful of it. Thanks. Alright, I need to get to chopping these. Make sure you cut as much of the stems out as you can. You only really eat the cap. Really? That sounds like a waste. With most mushrooms, the stem is very chewy and fibrous. Not very tasty with the texture, and the texture is kind of bad. Oh, yeah, wouldn't want that. I'll make sure to cut them out. Oh, hey, your dough is looking pretty good. It's really round and kind of shiny. While we were talking, I continued to knead the dough as best as I could. It took me a while, but I managed to all come together into a cohesive ball of dough, which I'm really proud of. The recipe says to let it rest for 30 minutes before I can open it and fill it up. In the meantime, I'm gonna start on the ragu since you already finished with the chicken and the mushrooms. Sure, feel free to. Just tell me what to do next. Can you chop the onions, shallots, and garlic while I work on this? Happy to. I toss some butter and oil into the skillet, mixing in the mushrooms and making sure to saute them slowly. Mushrooms take a while to cook. Or at least the regular supermarket variety. I don't know how long these take. Well, at least the good thing is that overcooking mushrooms is very difficult to do. I make sure to stir them constantly while adding a few more knobs of butter as I go to keep it from drying out. Once I think they look about done, I add in the shredded chicken, the minced garlic and shallots, some red wine vinegar, and some balsamic vinegar as well as salt and pepper. Wow, that's a lot of cream that goes into this recipe. Together with the Alfredo, we're probably gonna have a heart attack from all this cream and butter. Here's hoping we don't die from it. Oh, wow, that smells really good. Yeah, I'm supposed to cook it down until it gets thick and creamy. Oh, can you cut the bread into slices so I can toast it in the oven? Sure. I'll be done with the squash in just a bit. Things have been going much smoother than I thought they would. Shuichi's being really well behaved, all things considered. I thought for sure he'd be trying to sneak weird things into the food, but he hasn't so much as peeped about it the whole time. This is really nice. Cooking right next to him and working together, it's relaxing. Wow, this bread is a bit stale. Some people believe stale bread makes for better toast. I think they're both the same, and if the bread gets too stale, then it just becomes unsalvageable. Why does it get stale in the first place? Like, how does it work? Oh, it's pretty simple actually. Bread is made with yeast, right? Well, as the bread gets older, the yeast inside of it grows and starts sucking up all the water inside. Really? Sometimes you open these old loaves of bread and you see huge holes inside, right? Yeah. That's the area the yeast already ate. It leaves those big holes inside because it ate the bread from the inside out. And once it grows enough, it starts to change color. That's also why the bread gets moldy. Ew. I've had bread like that before. Hell, I've had bread come straight from the bakery like that. Oh, that happens when they reheat old bread so they can resell it. I don't think I'll ever be able to eat bread again. Don't let this discourage you. Just make sure to only pick from reputable stores. I'm really scared about this bread we're supposed to be working with now. Alright, I'm putting the slices in the oven now. Hopefully it doesn't burn. There's a timer right here on top of the table. Just use that. Oh, good idea. The ragu should be ready in a few minutes. Can you keep stirring this while I start working on the filling for the ravioli? How come I'm only in charge of prepping and stirring stuff? I want to actually do some cooking too. Oh, you do? That's... Uh-oh. Come on, you're hogging all the fun parts. All the ingredients for the entree are already prepped. I can cook it while you stir. That's an idea. Great, I'll get to work on it. Wait, I didn't say I agreed to it. Let's see. It says here to cook the squash in a separate pan until it's soft. I can put that to boil on the side while I work on the rest. Huh. This Alfredo sauce thing doesn't sound very difficult. Yeah. Just remember you need to cook it until it's a bit thick since it'll be used as a filling. It can't be too runny in that situation. That's a fair point. Alrighty. I'll just cook the onions in the butter until they start getting golden. I've mostly used breast meat for the ragu. Since the raviolis are the main dish, I thought they'd go better with the thigh meat. Just make sure to remove any and all pieces of bone once you shred it, okay? Don't worry about me so much. I've got this. You have never given me any reason to believe you when you say that. In fact, you being confident about it just scares me even more because I'm afraid you're gonna mess up because you're not paying enough attention to what you're doing. I suddenly feel a rumbling feeling on the pit of my stomach and it's not nice. Shuichi diligently stirs and works on his skillet. Since I'm trying to pay attention to my ragu, I can't really keep an eye on him while he does that. I'll just pray nothing goes wrong. Hey, I have a technical question. Yeah, what is it? How do I know when the onion and butter are done? Wait, you're still just stirring the onion and butter together? Yeah. It said here to stir until golden, but the butter kept turning browner, so I waited until it got golden. I look over to his skillet and it's a mess. Dear God, it even smells weird. How did you manage to do that? It's way overcooked. You burned the butter. Just put this in the sink and start again. Oh, really? I thought I was doing so well. Shuichi, if you're having questions, just call the instructor. She's doing rounds and helping people, but she can't know you need help if you don't ask. I didn't think I needed help. I'm really gonna have to babysit him through this process, aren't I? At least if he manages to cook something edible, I'll already be happy. I think it'll be the first time ever. The prospect is pretty exciting for sure. Alright, I'm gonna chop another onion and I'll try this again. This time, remember, only the onion needs to turn golden, not the butter. Got it. I'll try not to mess up again. Sorry. I'm pretty much done with the ragu. I'm gonna get started on the dessert. Oh yeah? Oh, what's the dessert supposed to be? It says here that it's supposed to be an apple puff pastry turnover. Thank God they're providing us with the puff pastry because that would be a bitch to make from scratch. Is it really that bad? I don't bake all that often, but I did see a few videos on pastries and there were so many steps to making it that my head was spinning. Yikes, not good. Yeah, I'll stick to store-bought pastry for this. Just need to peel and chop the apples into chunks and then prepare a brown sugar syrup. Man, there's gonna be so much food when we're done. Isn't that kind of the point? Food is good after all. I guess that's true. I'm looking forward to tasting it. Yeah, just keep your eyes on what you're making. We don't need any more burned butter. Oh shit! Yeah, he didn't even notice that his butter and onions were starting to get a bit overdone. Baby steps, I guess. Okay, I'm adding the other vegetables and the chicken now. Careful, don't just dunk stuff into the skillet, otherwise some butter could splash off and scald you. Right. I think this is the first time he ever had someone supervising him while he cooks. His knife skills aren't the best, and he doesn't pay much attention to what he's doing. But both of those things can be remedied. It's the unnecessary additions that fuck things over. Since he's not allowed to do that here, we should hopefully get something edible. And if not, well, he looks pretty cute when he's squirming trying to not mess stuff up on the burner. I'm kind of getting the urge to tickle and tease him a little bit, but I'll avoid doing that while he's handling a hot pan. It's weird. When I think of it, we're dating now. Like, things haven't changed that much, but when I look at him now, I feel different than before. I'm not confused or conflicted over it anymore either. At this point, I'm pretty sure that I really do have feelings for him. Hell, he's such a dork. I want to kiss him so bad right now. Are you okay? You've been staring at me without doing anything for a few minutes. Oh, right. I was, thinking of what I needed to prepare for the turnovers. Isn't your syrup done yet? Let me check. Hopefully it's okay. Yikes. And I was just giving him crap for not paying attention to his pots, too. Yeah, it's fine. It's at the perfect consistency, actually. I'm gonna drop my apples inside now with a bit of cinnamon. Recipe doesn't sound too complicated. It's not. The complicated part will be stuffing the raviolis. We're gonna have to do them together. Sure. I work on cooking the apples down a bit while I open the puff pastry and cut it into the shapes for the turnovers. After that, it's not all that difficult. This pastry is pretty nice to work with and I can put them together pretty easily. Okay, I'm gonna put these in the oven to bake. Did you already get the toast out? Yeah, you're fine. I put them all neatly on top of the parchment paper and inside a baking tray and slide it inside the oven. Thanks to the toast, the oven is already preheated too, so that helps. I'm gonna open the pasta dough now. How's the filling going? I just added the cooked squash to it. Can you taste to make sure the seasoning is okay? Sure. Shuichi grabs the spoon and puts a bit of everything from the filling on it, hovering it in front of my mouth. I blow on it a few times so as to not scald my tongue before eating it. A little bit more cheese would be nice. Alright, I'll add it in. As soon as it melts and incorporates, we can get started on stuffing. Not so fast. You need to chill the filling out a bit first, otherwise you'd cook the pasta before even putting it in the boiling water. Oh, that's true. We still have about an hour and 40 minutes to spare, so that gives us plenty of time to chill it while we plate the ragu toast. Just make sure to let the filling cool down before you put it in the fridge. Got it. I feed the pasta as thinly as I can in the pasta roller. At one point, it starts to get really thin and delicate, so I need Shuichi's help handling it to avoid ripping. It's a bit of work to get it through, but it comes out fine. Alright, just need to cut them into circles and cover them all with plastic film so it doesn't dry out. Handling the pasta dough is kind of like playing around with Play-Doh. You should have touched it when I was still kneading it. It really felt like playing with Play-Doh. What's our yield in this recipe? I don't know the exact amount. We're cutting them sort of big, so there can't be that many. Still, we spread the dough so thin that it became quite long. We ended up having to cut it into multiple sheets because it was getting too problematic to handle it. Let's get started on plating the appetizer. I can't wait to taste it. Sure. Our toast is very dry, golden, and crunchy, so it looks pretty nice. I try to put the ragu on top in a way that it doesn't look too messy. I sprinkle a bit of grated Parmesan cheese and finely chopped herbs to garnish. And this looks pretty good. It looks pretty tasty. Should we call the instructor over to try? Yeah. Looks like a few other pairs are finishing plating their appetizer too. The instructions were all made, so we should finish right about now anyway. Yeah, but a few people are still lagging behind. My guess is those are the ones that either had to start over due to mistakes or are just slower because they don't have much experience. I also had to start over at some point, though. Yeah, but you only had to throw away butter and onion. Barely any time waste with that. Fair enough. I raise my hand, trying to get the attention of the instructor so she can come over and try our dish. Oh, you boys are finished too? Let me try it out and see how you did. She uses a fork and knife to cut a small piece, quickly putting it in her mouth. Immediately she smiles, nodding appreciatively at the two of us. This is very good. The seasoning is perfect and it's very creamy. Good job. How are you doing on the other two? The turnovers are baking and we're waiting for the ravioli filling to cool a bit before we can stuff them. I kinda messed up on the filling at first, but he had me fix it. She nods, smile still on her face. That's very good. One tip I'll give you is that if you didn't leave big chunks in the filling, you can use a piping bag to fill it out more precisely, and making less of a mess. Oh, is that so? Shuichi, how chunky is the filling you made? I think it could fit in a piping bag? I'm not too sure. You can also fill it with a regular spoon if you're not sure. It's just a tiny bit harder to be precise with it. Thanks, I appreciate the advice. She nods again and walks off to another duo station. I guess we just wait for the turnovers to bake and the filling to cool. Pretty much. Hopefully it won't be too long. the ravioli seem to be done. Help me drain them and plate them up. Sure thing. Things continued going smoothly for the two of us. With the class nearly coming to an end, we were rushing to plate up the last of our dishes. I do have to congratulate Shuichi on that ravioli filling. I tried a bit of it before piping it into the pasta dough, and the texture and flavor were pretty good. I can't believe Shuichi of all people actually managed to cook something good. Here, a bit of grated cheese on top for garnish. Shouldn't we add some kind of sauce to the outside too? It looks kind of dry. The sauce on the inside is already pretty creamy. You don't want to drown the plate in sauce. If you say so. We have 3 more minutes before the end of the class. I'm going to start going through the stations that have already finished plating their last dishes to try them. Good thing we're not super late, otherwise I'd be freaking out hearing that countdown. Thankfully, we haven't had many hiccups during this process. There. Done. Nice. With a bit of time to spare, too. Alright, let me see what you boys prepared. She walks up to us and eyes our 2 last dishes. I'll try the ravioli first. Ooh, the pasta is very tender and soft, cooked perfectly. The inside is pretty creamy. It even oozes out a little bit. That's good. She cuts off a piece and tastes it. Immediately her face lights up and she squeals quietly. Oh yes, this is very good. Very creamy. The sauce is very rich and there's a good ratio of sauce to meat to squash inside the ravioli. Seems like they were distributed pretty uniformly. I'll try the apple turnover now. The pastry makes a lot of crunchy sounds as she cuts a piece, which seems to make her quite happy. You hear this sound when I run my knife on top of the pastry? It's dried out and crunched up nicely. The color is also good. It's a very appealing golden brown. Let's see how it tastes. She moves her head quite a bit as she's tasting. It seems like she's pondering something. The flavor's pretty good. You did a bang-up job on that. My only issue with this is the apples are a tad on the mushy side. I think you might have cooked them too long before stuffing the turnovers. Oh. I was the one who made the turnovers, so it was my mistake. Just keep in mind when making this sort of recipe that you want the apples to still have a bit of bite to them before you put them in the oven, otherwise it'll become mush. Gotcha, thanks. She nods, walking away to taste the plates from the rest of the class. Blah, I messed up. Don't feel bad. Everyone makes mistakes. Besides, it still looks delicious. Let's eat it before it gets cold. You're right, let's. We enjoy our food in the last few minutes of class. Everything came out pretty amazing. I think my favorite was the ravioli. That just tastes incredible. I still can't believe Shuichi was the one who made this filling. Although I will toot my own horn right here, the pasta is also really good. Even the apple turnovers were just a tiny little bit mushy. Not nearly as much as I thought they would be given the instructor's judgment. But then again, even something pretty minor can stand out if everything else is done really well. Oh man, this is delicious. It is. I'm glad you decided to make us do this. So am I. Michimiya, you have a bit of syrup on your face. Hang on, I'll get it. He grabs a napkin, gently rubbing it on my face to clean up the dirty spot. There, all better now. Thanks. We continue to enjoy our food until we finish every last piece. Oh man, I'm definitely feeling a bit full now. Thank you for coming today. I hope you enjoyed this class. If you did, please tell your friends about it. We'd really appreciate it. Oh man, it got really dark while we were in there. We did spend 3 hours inside. Everything's already dying down for the day. I don't think there's much we could do here anymore. Yeah, you're right. How about we just head home? Maybe you could stay over for a bit. I would love to, but you have to remember I have a curfew now. Oh, right. I can still walk you home. Okay. There's quite a lot of movement in the streets at this time of the night. Probably because the school festival is a really popular event this time of year. And there's a cool breeze blowing, gently ruffling our furs as we walk together under the night sky. I hope you had fun today. Shuichi breaks the peaceful silence we were in up until now. When I look to the side, I see him eyeing me with a smile. I did. I was really afraid of straining you by asking us to spend time together. I'm glad that wasn't the case. You're my boyfriend. Spending time with you is one of my favorite things to do. He gently squeezes my hand for a second before pulling away once more. He's probably wary of being too affectionate in the middle of a busy street. To be honest, it made me pretty happy to have you come to me today. What do you mean? Well, I always tend to be the one dragging you around everywhere. And after we started dating, part of me was really worried you weren't really liking it, and was just afraid of saying something. I mean no offense by saying this, it's just that it had been your MO so far, and it was hard for me to not think that was the case. Oh. I look down at the floor, focusing on my feet, walking step by step. For some reason, I suddenly feel very embarrassed. I was really upset for a while. It's really frustrating for me when I think about it. This is the first time in my life I've ever felt lost when it comes to how I'm feeling. Before you confessed to me and we started dating, I thought that maybe I had feelings for you, but at the same time that I wasn't sure. I've always liked spending time with you, and once I thought that maybe you liked me, a tiny little part of me was pretty happy. I think I might have always liked guys, and might have just, I don't know, refused to accept it, bottled it up so much until even I couldn't notice it. It's confusing to me. I don't blame you. I spent years telling myself my feelings for you were just friendship. It took a while for me to realize I was in love, and even longer to accept it. Yeah, but when I think about it, I really am happy getting to spend time with you like this. I think I really do like you a lot. I guess I might have been liking you for a time now. Do you have any idea how long? I'm not sure. A bit under a month? Maybe more, maybe less? I just didn't notice it for a while. I can take that. Shuichi casually shoulder bumps me as we walk side by side down the street. He giggles happily, and I can't help feeling that hearing him sound so happy is wonderful. I feel butterflies in my stomach. Man, this is embarrassing to say. I look forward to seeing how things will work out between us. And I want us to become even closer from now on. I'm in your care. I look forward to it too. And I promise I'll take care of you for as long as you're willing to also take care of me. Yeah. We finally reach my house, coming to a stop in front of the gate. I kinda wish you lived a little bit further away. Yeah. We stand motionless on our spots, neither of us seeming to want to say bye. Shuichi looks down at my eyes, and I do the same. I feel happy just having him close by. It's strange. It all came so suddenly, and I'm still confused by this whole thing, but I'm happy. I should probably head home already. Can't hang around here forever. Yeah, thanks for spending time with me today. It was my pleasure. I'm glad you had fun. Shuichi leans toward me, giving me a quick peck on the lips. You be good, okay? Be good? What am I, a dog? Well, technically you are. I playfully punch him on the shoulder. Good night, you. I'll message you when I get home. You better. Bye-bye. I wave at Shuichi as he walks away, watching him take a turn and disappear from my sight. Once he's gone, I go inside. Eee. They're so cute. Huzzah. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.